Welcome, 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 everybody. It's your boy Trav here with Trade Trends, and we are back once again. I want to go over a brief overview of a few things here so you guys can see that are watching this live right now on Facebook. The possible upcoming recession. I'm going to discuss the money markets and what are they, 4 ways that we can actually make money, 3 free steps to your monthly income goals, and also a brief session about my current trade in progress report. Okay, so again, without further ado, trade the trends. I pride myself on a few things, and these 3 E's right here are so important to what I do. Not only my trading aspect, but even the networking aspect, or even just building the right quality people around me. These values are so important when we talk about enrich, empower, and educate. Okay, because one thing that I know, it's always great to educate others and empower them, right? You know, a lot of people say, hey, what's that saying? They say, give a man a fish, he can eat for the rest of his life, right? So, or teach a man to fish, right? Or give him the fish, he gonna only eat, for that time. But teach him how to fish, he can eat forever. That's why I think empowering people is so important, and then educating them on how to do so, and just trying to enrich them with the values that you feel are most popular to you, that are most needed, are most important, right? And these values are real, real important to me and what I do. Okay, so what I want to talk about next and go to next real quick while I go to the slides. Let me just start it from the top real quick. All right. So guys, why me, right? Why did I get started into trading, right? Why did I get started into the forex market? Well, the reason why I got started was it's pretty simple. I got to a point, I'm starting to read a little bit more. At this point, I'm almost 30 years old. Now I'm only 31. But so about two and a half years ago, I'm kind of looking, I'm at work, I'm leaving work. I'm like, yo, I want to go on vacations. I want to live this type of life. I don't want to have to ask, my boss, can I have time off? And it could get denied. About to have my first kid, on the way at this point as well. So a lot's going on. So I'm like, okay, how do I make this move? What is there for me to do? What's next? Okay. So again, a guy from Newport News, Virginia. I don't know many big traders or investors from the area, but just looking to do something different. So that's how I came up with the name, right? I wanted to turn an old trend into a new trend, right? Go to school, get good grades, get a job. That's the old trend. But the new trend is becoming a trader and an investor, and utilizing the right tools and resources to do so, to be profitable. So hopefully you guys get some value from the information I'm going to share with you right now. Again, from little old guy from Newport News, Virginia, the home of a lot of athletes and sports stars, but now looking to put trading on the map, okay? So let's talk about it. The 4 ways of making money. My question to a lot of you is that, did you even know that there are 4 ways to make money? Right? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people know about being an employee, where 60% of Americans live, right? Employees, we have a job. We're in that rat race, right? We're doing the same thing. We're dreading Mondays and loving Fridays, right? We're working for the weekend, right? We're working hard. We have no type of security because there's no guarantees in the job anymore. The days of the pensions are gone. We have no time because we're exchanging all of our time for money. And if we need more money, we just exchange more time for money, right? This puts us in that position to only make linear income, because if we don't go to work, we don't get paid, right? Things can't happen, right? Again, no guarantees in this market, okay? Well, there's no guarantees in anything, right? But the pensions and things like that, where, our grandfathers and great-grandfathers could live off of, now that we're in this 40-40-40 plan, working 40 hours a week for 40 years of our life, to then retire off of 40% of what we were making, right? That doesn't sound right to me, okay? But some people say, you know what? I want to do things for myself. So I'm going to go into this self-employed quadrant, okay? So not only I can come and go as I please, but guess what? Hey, You know, it's based on my time or when I do it. So I do dictate my time. The only issue is that I'm still exchanging time for money, because now I'm in a larger debt, because now I'm owning this business myself. Like, say I'm a doctor, right? If I don't see patients, I still can't get paid. Even though I can come and go or open office and close office as I please, guess what? I do have that little bit of control, but I don't control how my income comes in, because if I'm not there, I can't get paid. So this is what 35% of the American population has moved to, you know? So now I still don't have time. Like my barbers, if you don't cut hair, guess what? You don't get paid, you know, unless you own the barbershop, right? But owning the barbershop or owning the hair salon, that goes into that business ownership. So let's talk about it. Some people are already in this business, and it's amazing to see a lot of people that I do know or know by association growing up. You know, the things that I see them do just by watching them on Facebook and Instagram is very inspiring. So I want to say, keep it up, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about nobody telling you to do, you know, whether you trying to be in real estate, have rental properties, or your online businesses or anything, keep it going. I just want to make that plug. But business ownership, right? This goes into the 4%ers, right? Okay, you own a system. It saves yourself time, effort, and money. Mr. John Paul Getty said, I would rather have 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own efforts, right? Because the best business you can have is the one that makes you money, guess what? Without you having to be there, okay? But guess what? It can be hard work in the beginning, right? But you do create that stability. You do start to create that spare time, you know, after a while. But of course, nothing's ever easy. Like I said, all of this takes risk to be. It's a risk to be an employee. It's a risk to be self-employed. It's a risk to be a business owner. That's why it's also a risk to be an investor, right? But the investors are the 1%ers who have found how money can work for you. Mr. Warren Buffett's, Mr. Jay-Z's, right? You know, it's a lot of people we could talk about. Mr. Jeff Bezos with Amazon, different, you know, people out here that's doing different things, right? But the 1%ers, you know, they have found a way to use money as a tool. And if you ever read the book or heard the audiobook, The Richest Man in Babylon, this is exactly what he was talking about, right? Using gold coins to make more gold, whether you use that to buy something in bulk, to resell it for more profits, right? Whatever it is, right? Business ownership, investors. So let's talk about the employee and self-employed side, right? You see 95% of the nation lives in this space, right? But they only control 5% of the wealth, because the 5% of the wealth, the 5%ers on the right side of the quadrant own that 95% of the wealth, right? Because they're the ones who are creating jobs for employees or creating situations for even self-employed, because they probably own the real estate, you know, that you're renting every month, right? So a lot of this money goes back into the business owners and investors, because that's who the employees work for, or the self-employed work for as well. Makes sense, right? So let's talk about now where we're at in this day and age, okay? Because here are 3 problems, right? The problems people have when it comes to trading or investing is that people don't know where to put their money. Okay, people just don't know, right? They don't have the education. They don't have the understanding, right? The next thing is people are investing passively rather than actively. For example, your 401k, that is passive investing, right? Because you're not actively involved in that investing process, right? You're just saying, hey, I'm going to give this percentage to my bank. My job, and my job is going to match it. I don't know what market I'm in. I don't know my projectiles for the next month, the next quarter even, you know, things like that. And also, people don't know when to enter and exit the markets, right? But guess what? With the strategies that I've been using, I am able to answer all of these questions for you, because these are the biggest questions, okay? You know, where can I put my money, right? We're going to talk about the markets in a second, right? How can I invest actively? Hey, we're going to talk about, you know, how you can get your free consultation and things like that, you know, so you can see exactly what plan works best for you. And then how to enter and exit. You're going to get that training as well included in our packages, okay, that I'm going to be able to offer you once you join Trade the Trends. So let's talk about the recession, right? We see what happened in 2001. Wow. We see what happened in 2001. Okay. We also remember the recession of 2008. Guys, y'all remember that? All right. Let's see. We see it hit a top, we see it fall. We see it hit the top, we see it fall. So it's basically about a 7 to 10-year average that we actually expect a recession or a market correction, as a lot of traders and investors will understand the terminology as a correction in the market, right? Because the market always has to correct itself. But since 2008, we've been on the up and up. So my question is, okay, what's next, right? You guys have seen, a lot of information about the possible recession. Donald Trump saying, hey, if I'm not elected, there is going to be a recession, and things like that. So the terminology has been out there, but really, what does it mean? Or what does that look like? Guys, that means a lot. That means we can actually see the market retest to this level, right? This could be a level here about to 1,600. That's almost a $1,600 point drop, right, in the markets, in the S&P 500. That can be insane. But guess what? It could even retest the bottom here at 700. Wow, right? That can actually happen, guys. You see what I'm saying? And we are well overdue for that. And that would be over a 2,300 point drop, right? Who's ready for that? Is your 401k ready for that? Is your 401k ready to be depleted by at least 50%, right? What if you went into your 401k next week and half of it was gone, right? What would you do? How would you feel? Okay, right? This is why it's so important to really start being active instead of passive in your investing in your retirement plan. Okay, so Travis, I get it. I've seen a lot already. So tell me more about these currency markets. Okay, so I want to briefly go over this because I do have more in-depth information on my YouTube. So drop a 1 if you want the YouTube, where you can actually see a lot of more free information at when I do videos and I post videos and things like this, and possibly even the recording of this as well. So I appreciate that. But the foreign exchange market, this is a $5.3 trillion a day market. $5.3 trillion a day. Guys, this is phenomenal, okay, because this is where your banks live. This is where your hedge funds live. This is where a lot of your big Fortune 500 companies invest and trade in, because it's the money markets. Money is always moving. Money is moving 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Money is always moving. So this is why this is the largest financial liquid market in the world, because it involves money, right? The real bag. This is how we really secure the bag, being in this market, because it's the money markets. Like I said, right? So gold is traded here, as you can see. Dollars are traded here. Euros are traded here. Japanese yen, Canadian dollars, Swiss francs, pesos, anything you can think of, right? All countries' currencies are traded in the foreign exchange market. And why this market is so liquid and so large, where the stock market is about 22 billion. And again, 22 billion is a lot of money, but it's peas or peanuts compared to 5.3 trillion per day, right? So this is why I trade in this market. I'm sorry. This is the market I trade in. I also trade in the cryptocurrency market. Of course, this is the digital currency markets. You understand Bitcoin. I've heard about Bitcoin, some Ethereum. We know Akon is coming out with a coin for Africa's ecosystem called Acoin. So this is actually what we feel is going to help those out of the recession, right? The digital currency, because the digital currency cannot be controlled by the banks, right? Where our money and our dollars are controlled by the banks. We got to go ask if we want to take out a certain amount of money in the banks. Like we got to give a notice if I need $5,000 of my money, right? Where cryptocurrency, we're always in control of our money. Like I said, it's decentralized. It utilizes the blockchain technology, which is an online ledger that actually keeps everyone in line. So you can't double spend. So for example, if I'm sending Johnny $50, the ledger verifies that I do have $50 to send Johnny, right? And when I send it, there's actually a chain made on this ledger, why it's called the blockchain, that verifies the transactions through multiple ways. So again, it confirms that it is sent to Johnny, and sometimes usually it takes less than an hour, right? So this is the place to be. And I always tell people, always do your own research, right? Always, make sure you're investing in yourself and your education before you start to do anything, right? Yes, I understand some people are like myself, are go-getters, and hey, man, I've heard enough. I'm ready to start. This is basically what I've been looking for. How do I get involved, right? So let me tell you, where do you start, right? And the first 3 steps are free, right? Set up a consultation, right? Send me a comment, send me a DM, send me a private message, more importantly, because then we can set up a time where we can do a consultation so we can talk about what are your financial goals. What does your current investment status look like right now? What can you risk to invest or trade with? And see if we have something that can actually benefit you, get you to the goals you want by the time that you want. And again, we create that game plan in step 2, right? As you can see, set up the consultation. Hey, that's set up a date. That's free. Creating a game plan one-on-one with me. That's free, right? And if you like the game plan at that point, you say, Travis, this makes sense. I can work this plan because it gets me to where I want to be in the time I'm willing to do it with. Guess what? Now you make the 90-day commitment. And guess what? That's also free. Okay? Make the 90-day commitment. Why I say the 90-day commitment is because if you make a 90-day commitment in this trading process, basically what happens and what changes in your life that you will see in that first 90 days, you already know that you're set up for success, right? And it takes 90 days to build the right habits in this market, right? And that's why I say the 90-day commitment. And again, that's less than a 4-year commitment that some of us went through to go to college or different things like that, or 10-year commitment based on certain jobs, right? And the next and final step at that point that you set up your consultation, we've created our game plan, you've made the commitment to 90 days because the plan you see, you know you can work that plan. We get you registered. We get you instant access to my Trade the Trend 72-hour fast start program. So within the first 72 hours, we can actually get you into the markets, right? That's the whole goal. How to set up your accounts. How do you deposit? How do you withdraw from your accounts? When can you withdraw from your accounts? When can you deposit more if you wish to do it, right? Because all of this is you being in control of your money. Please, please, please do not give someone else your money, right? You know, you always want to be, again, active in your investing and trading, not passive, right? And that goes against empowerment. That's why I tell people all the time, I want to show you how to create your own account so then you can actually manage your own account. This is something that you can teach others and teach your children, right? And again, that goes into enrich, empower, and educate, where I go back to those 3 E's. But let me ask you something, right? Do you want to do a 9-to-5 for 20 to 40 more years? Simple as that, right? Simple question. It's either yes or no. And if you answered no, then follow the site below and watch a 15-minute free video on my winning solution, okay? And if you answer yes, guess what? No worries. You always have a choice to play it safe and keep doing what you are currently doing, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transition into showing actually where my $100 challenge is actually going that I started about 2 months ago. All right. So, but before I go into that, of course, a brief disclaimer, because trading forex, stocks, and cryptocurrency is very risky. Results are not guaranteed. Only trade or invest with money you can afford to lose. And what you're going to see is not a solicitation to invest. It's just showing you what can happen, or what has happened for me from the past up to today's date. Okay. So I am going to end this real quick so we can actually see that. All right. And I'm going to bring this up. And a lot of people probably have seen this before. Do I think the weakening of the US dollar will cause gold to spike? Absolutely. You know, because gold is real money. Now I'm talking to some people in the on my Facebook Live as well. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Gold is real money. Right. You know, the dollar, our fiat money, you know, this is something that we can create out of thin air. And this is the reason why Japan and other countries are trying to get away from the US dollar being the so-called world's currency. Okay. So where I started, right? I started $100 account. I want to say it was middle of June sometime. Started over. right? Just to see what can actually happen, you know, because a lot of people say, Travis, I don't have a lot of money to invest or to trade with. What can I do, right? And I basically said, this is what you can do, but it's based on your plan and your time, for example, okay? And I'll show you what happens in a second. So after week one, right, I had a $100 balance. My goal was to do 10% that week, right? And 10% is amazing. A lot of these rich and wealthies, hey, their biggest thing is they're trying to get 1 to 3% a month. But my goal is 10% weekly growth, okay? So first week, $10, all right? So now I'm at $110. Let's go after a month, week 4, right? Based on my 10% completion, my account grown to about an average about 146, right? Give or take the actual, you know, pennies on it. You know, it was probably close to that, but this is the sheet that I'm using that's gonna give us this numbers. So after 2 months, right, and after 8 weeks, because this is where I'm at. I'm actually at 8 weeks, okay? But because of my compound and my strategy, I was able to do a little bit more than 10%. So I'm actually now, after 9 weeks, which 9 weeks would have been 235 in my account, I'm actually at about 346. Let me check it real quick. Let me be sure. Oh, about 3. Yep, 346 and 19 cents, right? So after 2 months, based on my trading, because I also do some additional tradings, you know, you can utilize the signal services that come included, you know, where we show you how to utilize wedge patterns and how to enter and exit trades. We also have scanners and software that can help you get into the trades a little bit more easier too, especially for beginners. Of course, so you definitely want to get in tune with that. But looking at it, it's like, wow, you know, so after 2 months, well, even 3 months, technically, I would have been at $345, right? And fast forward to 6 months, if you kind of see here, after 6 months, guess what? The possibilities that are there that you can now be making $100 a week, okay? And that was started from a $300 account. It took you 6 months, right? But guess what? That account totals over $1,100, and that $1,100 now with the 10% weekly goal can create $100 per week, right? Wow. Who would have thought a $300 account after 6 months can generate me that basically same $300 now on a monthly basis, right? So my money is growing. This is why the 1%ers are who they are, how the investors and traders like myself learn how to multiply money. Well, let's fast forward to a year, right? Would it be worth it for you to invest $100, right? And I'll basically show over the fees, you know, that come included with trading and things like that. You want to know the ins and outs. That goes into the game plan and the consultation. There's nothing I leave out. The transparency is clear. This is what it's going to cost to do what you're looking to do. Are you willing to do that and put in this amount of time to get there? It's as simple as that, right? Nothing comes easy. Nothing is guaranteed. You have to be willing to put in the work, okay? But again, $100 after 52 weeks, right? And at that 10% goal, and like I said, this is average. You may see somewhere, like I said, I've seen 12% weeks, you know, so it's got me, you know, closer faster in certain cases. But with the 10%, right, after 52 weeks, so a year that I took $100 account, right? And guess what? That is now almost 13K, and it's generating me almost $1,100 a week. So after a year, is it worth it for me to put in time for a year, right? Which could be maybe an extra 5 to 6 hours a week, you know, into my trading, learning, and education, right? 5 to 6 hours a week, utilizing these tools and software that are available to me at this point. Am I willing to put in that time for a year where I could then be making an extra $1,000 a week? Will it be worth it, right? And then some people say, Travis, and I give them all the numbers, the statistics like this, and they say, hey, now, of course, I'm going to work with you the whole way. My goal is to see you win. My goal is to see 1,000 families win. So I want to actually see you win, right? Because the goal is helping people make impacts on their lives so they can help others make impacts on their lives, right? So, oh, man, and then look at it. Wow, after a year and a half, we're now looking at $2,500 a week, right? And one beauty of it, a lot of people say, well, Travis, do I have to recruit anybody? So throughout this time we spent together, have I said anything about recruiting? No, I did not, right? Because that is not something that you have to do with my program. Of course, there is an affiliate program, because if you help connect people, of course, I want to reward you for connecting people with me, right? That's what I want you to do. If you like, just like the crave right now that everybody go on social media. Hey, you should try this because I think this is good. And a lot of people go try things because of word of mouth. So, but my thing is, if you're going to, help people and you're going to help me help other people, I'm going to reward you for it. So that is an option if you do choose to do it, but that's, again, something optional, something up to you. A lot of people don't like to leave money on the table. So again, if that's something you would like to do as well, let's do it. But I always suggest first 90 days, let's learn how to utilize the skill set, utilize the tools so you can actually be set up for success on your personal account before you can help other people. Right? I think that makes sense. And I also think that's fair. Right? So again, I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming out again. Man, I appreciate everybody coming out, being on the call with me today. Just want to go back to the start. Let me see something real quick. But y'all know it's your boy Trav. We trade the trends here. And I want to see everybody at the top, because the bottom, y'all, is way too crowded.